Self-improvement is a journey of constant growth and discovery, a process that allows you to become the best version of yourself. When you focus on self-improvement, you're investing in a foundation that will enhance every area of your life, including relationships. Often people spend so much time and energy on relationships that they overlook the most important one, their relationship with themselves. Shifting your focus to self-improvement first doesn't mean ignoring or avoiding relationships. Rather, it's about making sure that you are in the best position to attract and maintain healthy, meaningful connections. When you build yourself up, you set a higher standard for the types of relationships you will enter, fostering deeper connections and leading to greater fulfillment. The journey of self-improvement is unique for everyone and starts with an honest assessment of where you are now and where you want to go. This isn't a simple task. It requires self-reflection, accountability, and a willingness to work on areas that may feel uncomfortable. Ask yourself questions like, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I want to achieve in my career, health, or personal life? These questions help you understand who you are and the direction you want to take. Gaining clarity on these aspects of yourself allows you to become more intentional in every decision you make, and this sense of purpose and direction is powerful in building self-confidence. The more you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to recognize and embrace your worth, which in turn strengthens the quality of the relationships you attract. Another critical part of self-improvement is setting goals. These goals don't have to be monumental, they just need to be meaningful to you. When you start focusing on things that add value to your life, like learning new skills, improving your health, or working on financial stability, you're actively shaping your future. Goals keep you grounded and give you something to strive for, which brings a sense of accomplishment and pride that is deeply fulfilling. When your self-worth is rooted in your personal achievements and growth, rather than in validation from others, you become more resilient and self-sufficient. This kind of stability allows you to enter relationships from a place of wholeness rather than seeking someone to fill a void. In addition to setting goals, investing in self-care and mental well-being is a cornerstone of self-improvement. Prioritizing physical health through exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep significantly impacts your mood, energy, and self-esteem. Similarly, nurturing your mental health, whether through practices like meditation, therapy, or journaling, gives you a balanced perspective on life and relationships. When you feel good physically and mentally, you're better equipped to handle challenges and enjoy positive experiences. A strong foundation of self-care enhances your capacity to manage stress, communicate openly, and make thoughtful decisions in relationships. Developing emotional intelligence is another key area of self-improvement. Emotional intelligence includes understanding your own emotions, being able to manage them effectively, and recognizing emotions in others. This skill is essential not only for personal growth but also for forming meaningful relationships. When you have a clear understanding of your emotional triggers, you're less likely to react impulsively or let emotions control your actions. Instead, you can respond to situations thoughtfully, which is crucial for maintaining healthy and respectful relationships. The better you understand and manage your emotions, the more equipped you are to foster relationships that are based on mutual respect and understanding. Self-improvement also involves surrounding yourself with people who inspire and support your growth. Evaluate the people in your life and consider whether they bring positivity and encouragement. Spend time with friends, family, or mentors who challenge you to be better and who celebrate your progress. Conversely, don't be afraid to distance yourself from relationships that hinder your growth or are overly negative. These choices can be difficult, but they reinforce your commitment to your well-being and your goals. When you fill your circle with people who add value to your life, you reinforce a positive and growth-oriented mindset, which will attract others who share similar values. Self-discipline and time management are often underestimated in the self-improvement journey. It's easy to become distracted, especially with the demands of daily life or the temptation of fleeting pleasures. However, by practicing self-discipline, you build resilience and the ability to focus on what truly matters. Managing your time effectively helps you balance your priorities and ensures that you are consistently moving forward. Dedicate time to personal development, whether that means reading, attending courses, exercising, or simply spending time on hobbies that fulfill you. This dedication shows respect for your own growth and builds a life that's full of achievements you can be proud of. One of the most profound benefits of focusing on self-improvement is the confidence it brings. When you're actively pursuing a path that aligns with your values and goals, your confidence grows naturally. You become someone who knows what they want and is unafraid to pursue it. This kind of confidence is magnetic and influences the types of relationships you attract. People who respect and appreciate themselves tend to attract others who will respect and appreciate them too. As a result, you're more likely to engage in relationships that are healthy, balanced, and mutually fulfilling, rather than relationships that drain you or distract you from your potential. Finally, focusing on self-improvement creates a foundation of independence and self-worth. When you know your value and are content with who you aren't reliant on a relationship to feel complete. This independence is liberating because it means that your happiness and success are not dependent on anyone else. You can enter relationships because you want to, not because you need to. This mindset shift allows you to choose relationships based on mutual respect, love, and growth rather than out of fear or insecurity. In the end, focusing on self-improvement isn't about distancing yourself from relationships, it's about creating a life so fulfilling that relationships become an addition to an already fulfilling journey. By investing in yourself, you build a strong foundation that enriches every connection you make. The more you grow and evolve, the more you elevate the people and relationships in your life. When you prioritize self-improvement, you ultimately create a life where you can give and receive love from a place of genuine strength, purpose, and fulfillment. In a world where connections are more accessible than ever, it can be easy to drift into relationships without truly considering their impact on our lives. Many people fall into relationships out of convenience, habit, or social pressure, often without evaluating whether these relationships align with their goals and values. However, investing time and energy into relationships that don't serve a meaningful purpose can be emotionally draining and may even hinder personal growth. Building purposeful relationships requires conscious effort and self-awareness, and it's about prioritizing connections that genuinely add value to our lives, uplift us, and support our growth. Purposeful relationships are based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. They involve a deep connection and a shared vision for personal and mutual growth. These connections allow us to learn, evolve, and support one another's journey, rather than merely providing companionship. When relationships are purposeful, they align with our goals and enhance our overall quality of life, providing a sense of fulfillment that superficial relationships cannot. To create purposeful relationships, it's essential first to define what purposeful means for you. Think about the values and qualities that are most important to you, and consider what kind of support you need to become the person you aspire to be. Ask yourself, what are my long-term goals? What values do I prioritize, and what am I looking for in a relationship? Clarifying your values and purpose will make it easier to recognize when you encounter someone who aligns with those ideals. This clarity acts as a guide in building connections with people who genuinely support your growth. Once you understand what you want, be intentional about how you approach relationships. Building purposeful relationships requires moving beyond superficial traits and looking deeper into the character and values of those you engage with. It involves assessing whether the people in your life share similar aspirations, or if they can encourage you to pursue your own. It's about prioritizing substance over appearances or momentary excitement and seeking a deeper, more meaningful connection. Authenticity plays a central role in building purposeful relationships. Being true to who you are and open about your goals and values will naturally attract others who respect and appreciate your authenticity. Inauthenticity may lead to connections that feel forced or insincere, leaving both parties feeling unfulfilled. By showing up as your true self, you invite others to do the same, creating a solid foundation for trust and genuine understanding. Purposeful relationships thrive on honesty, vulnerability, and the willingness to be open about your dreams, fears, and aspirations. Listening is another key component of purposeful relationships. Taking the time to understand others' perspectives and desires fosters a supportive dynamic that allows each person to grow within the relationship. This level of engagement enables you to see beyond your own needs and invest in the well-being of the other person. Listening with empathy and curiosity demonstrates respect and a willingness to understand, which is essential for building trust. When both people feel heard and valued, the relationship becomes a source of strength and encouragement, helping each person reach their potential. Purposeful relationships are also rooted in mutual respect. A healthy relationship respects each person's individuality and personal boundaries. This respect means valuing each other's time, space, and personal growth. People who genuinely care about you will support your ambitions and not hold you back or make you feel guilty for pursuing personal goals. In a purposeful relationship, both parties encourage each other to strive for their dreams, celebrate achievements, and provide a safety net during challenging times. It's a partnership where each person respects the other's journey while contributing positively to it. Balancing giving and receiving is crucial in maintaining a purposeful relationship. Relationships thrive when there is an equal exchange of support, understanding, and effort. When one person continuously gives while the other only takes, it creates an imbalance that can lead to resentment and emotional exhaustion. Purposeful relationships are about mutual growth, where each person feels uplifted and supported. Being mindful of this balance allows you to ensure that your relationships are healthy and energizing rather than one-sided and draining. Another significant aspect of purposeful relationships is growth. Healthy relationships encourage self-development and provide a safe space for change. People in purposeful relationships understand that growth is a natural part of life, and they support each other through different phases. This dynamic is not stagnant, it evolves as each person grows and changes. When you're in a purposeful relationship, you're continually learning from one another, pushing each other to new heights, and creating a nurturing environment that fosters both individual and collective success. It's equally important to have the courage to walk away from relationships that are not purposeful or aligned with your values. Sometimes relationships that once felt fulfilling may no longer serve a positive role in your life. It could be due to differing values, life goals, or simply that the relationship has run its natural course. Recognizing when to let go of a relationship is an act of self-respect and a commitment to your own well-being. Letting go of relationships that aren't aligned with your goals creates space for those that truly support your growth and happiness. Purposeful relationships also extend to friendships, family connections, and professional relationships. Each of these relationships can contribute positively to your life if they are built on mutual respect, understanding, and support. Friendships, for instance, can provide emotional support, joy, and companionship, while professional relationships can offer mentorship, opportunities for growth, and knowledge sharing. When these relationships are purposeful, they create a well-rounded support system that enhances your life and helps you succeed in various areas. Finally, creating purposeful relationships requires patience and commitment. These relationships don't happen overnight. They take time to develop trust, understanding, and connection. Building deep and meaningful bonds is an ongoing process that requires effort from both parties. It's about showing up consistently, being reliable, and investing in each other's lives. Purposeful relationships are the result of mutual dedication, where each person values the relationship and is willing to work through challenges to maintain a meaningful connection. In essence, purposeful relationships are about quality over quantity. They are about finding people who align with your values and support your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. They provide a source of strength, joy, and motivation, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. By seeking purposeful relationships, you not only enhance your own life but also contribute positively to the lives of those around you. When your relationships are built on purpose, they become a source of fulfillment that enriches every aspect of your life. Setting healthy boundaries is a vital part of maintaining well-being, self-respect, and balance in all areas of life. Boundaries act as guidelines that define where one's own responsibilities, needs, and emotions end, and where those of others begin. Establishing them allows us to protect our mental, emotional, and physical health, fostering relationships based on respect, understanding, and trust. In essence, boundaries are not about keeping others out, but rather about ensuring that interactions remain positive, balanced, and mutually respectful. For many people, setting boundaries can be challenging. We often fear that by asserting our needs, we'll risk disappointing others or appearing selfish. However, boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are a means of honoring our own limits and ensuring that others do the same. They help us avoid feelings of resentment, burnout, and emotional exhaustion, which often arise when we overextend ourselves for others without recognizing our own needs. Healthy boundaries enable us to engage in relationships fully and genuinely, without compromising our own sense of self. One of the first steps to setting healthy boundaries is to develop self-awareness. This requires understanding our values, needs, and limits. For instance, we might ask ourselves questions like, what do I need to feel safe and comfortable in a relationship? When do I start feeling overwhelmed or taken for granted? Being clear on what we're willing to accept and what we're not helps us communicate our boundaries effectively to others. Self-awareness also makes it easier to recognize when boundaries have been crossed, allowing us to address issues before they become more significant problems. Communication is another crucial component of setting boundaries. It's important to communicate our needs and expectations clearly and assertively, without being aggressive. For example, rather than saying, "You're always bothering me," we might say, "I need some quiet time in the evening to recharge." Framing statements in terms of personal needs rather than accusing or blaming others makes it more likely that our boundaries will be respected. Assertive communication involves being honest about our feelings and needs while also respecting the perspective of others. When we communicate our boundaries clearly, we create an environment where mutual respect and understanding can flourish. Boundaries vary from person to person and relationship to relationship. What feels comfortable or necessary in one context may not apply in another. For example, boundaries in a professional environment might involve setting limits around work hours, workload, or methods of communication. In personal relationships, boundaries may relate to how much emotional energy we're willing to invest, our need for personal space, or expectations around communication and support. The flexibility of boundaries is essential. They are not rigid rules but adaptable guidelines that can change over time as our needs evolve. It's also essential to understand that setting boundaries requires consistency. Once we've established a boundary, it's our responsibility to uphold it. If we repeatedly allow others to cross our boundaries without consequence, it sends a message that we're not committed to them. This inconsistency can lead others to disregard our needs, often unintentionally, because they've seen that we don't enforce our limits. Consistently maintaining boundaries helps others understand that they're important to us and that we're serious about respecting our own well-being. This doesn't mean being inflexible or unwilling to compromise. Rather, it's about ensuring that the core elements of our boundaries remain intact. One common misconception about boundaries is that they are selfish. In reality, setting boundaries is a self-respecting act that also respects others by fostering open communication and clear expectations. When we set boundaries, we're acknowledging our own needs without neglecting those of others. In fact, boundaries often prevent resentment and frustration from building up, as we're less likely to feel overburdened or undervalued. By protecting our own well-being, we're better equipped to engage in relationships in a positive and meaningful way, creating a healthier dynamic for everyone involved. Self-care is another aspect tied closely to boundaries. When we prioritize our own well-being, we're reinforcing the importance of boundaries in our lives. Self-care isn't just about indulging in relaxation or leisure, it's also about knowing when to say no and recognizing when something is beyond our capacity. Practicing self-care helps us stay grounded and reminds us of our limits. The stronger our self-care practices are, the easier it becomes to uphold boundaries, as we're more attuned to our needs and less likely to compromise our own well-being for the sake of others. Another key element in setting boundaries is learning to accept discomfort. Setting and maintaining boundaries can sometimes lead to uncomfortable conversations or moments of tension, especially with people who may not be used to hearing us assert our needs. Some individuals might not understand or appreciate the boundaries we're trying to set, and that's okay. It's natural for some people to resist change, particularly if they have benefited from a lack of boundaries in the past. However, accepting this discomfort as part of the process allows us to stay firm in our commitment to ourselves without feeling pressured to back down. Boundaries also help us manage our time and energy. When we're clear on what we're willing to invest in relationships or commitments, we avoid overcommitting and spreading ourselves too thin. Time is a limited resource, and by setting boundaries, we ensure that we're dedicating it to things that genuinely matter to us. This prevents burnout and leaves more room for activities and relationships that bring us joy, fulfillment, and peace. Protecting our time is a form of self-respect that not only enhances our quality of life but also ensures we're fully present in everything we choose to do. Respecting the boundaries of others is equally important. Just as we expect our boundaries to be honored, we must be mindful of the boundaries others set. This means listening carefully to their needs, refraining from pressuring them to change their limits, and recognizing that their boundaries are an essential part of their well-being. By respecting the boundaries of those around us, we foster trust and mutual respect, creating relationships that are built on a foundation of understanding. In the end, setting healthy boundaries is an act of empowerment. It allows us to take control of our lives, prioritize our needs, and engage in relationships from a place of self-respect. Boundaries provide a framework within which we can interact with others in a way that is both fulfilling and sustainable. They help us build connections that are based on genuine understanding and respect, rather than obligation or guilt. As we grow and evolve, so too will our boundaries, adapting to new experiences and needs. By setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, we create a life that is balanced, meaningful, and reflective of our true selves. Cultivating self-worth and independence is a transformative journey, one that empowers you to live authentically and confidently, unshaken by external validation or reliance on others for your sense of fulfillment. It involves recognizing your inherent value, developing a strong sense of self, and fostering independence in your thoughts, actions, and emotional well-being. When you cultivate self-worth and independence, you lay the foundation for a fulfilling life, where relationships and achievements enhance your happiness rather than define it. This growth fosters resilience, confidence, and the capacity to make choices aligned with your values and aspirations. Self-worth is fundamentally about recognizing your intrinsic value, independent of external factors. Many people mistakenly tie their self-worth to achievements, relationships, or approval from others, which can be fleeting and unreliable. True self-worth is grounded in an understanding that you are valuable simply because you exist, and you do not need to prove your worth to anyone. Developing this sense of worth starts with self-acceptance, which means embracing both your strengths and imperfections without judgment. Accepting yourself fully creates a solid foundation from which you can grow without feeling pressured to be someone you're not or live up to unrealistic standards. An essential part of cultivating self-worth is letting go of the need for validation from others. While positive feedback and recognition can feel rewarding, relying on them to feel good about yourself can lead to an emotional roller coaster, where your sense of value fluctuates with external opinions. Shifting away from this need requires focusing on internal validation, finding satisfaction in your own achievements, and setting standards for yourself that are based on your values and aspirations, not on others' expectations. For instance, rather than seeking approval for a job well done, learn to take pride in the effort and dedication you put into your work. This way, your confidence and self-worth are rooted in your own perception, making them more stable and enduring. Building independence goes hand in hand with self-worth. Independence is the ability to make decisions, set goals, and pursue aspirations based on your own values and desires, free from excessive reliance on others' opinions or support. This independence empowers you to take control of your life and make choices that resonate with who you truly are. It involves trusting yourself to navigate challenges, understanding that you are capable of overcoming obstacles, and taking responsibility for your own happiness. Cultivating independence is not about isolating yourself or refusing help when needed. Rather, it's about creating a life where you are the primary architect of your choices, goals, and fulfillment. To foster independence, developing self-reliance is key. Self-reliance is the confidence that you can handle life's demands and challenges on your own, without constantly seeking help or approval. Building self-reliance starts with small steps, like solving everyday problems or making decisions independently. These small acts of self-trust accumulate, reinforcing the belief that you are capable and competent. Over time, self-reliance allows you to become more resilient, as you learn to adapt to challenges and handle setbacks without feeling disheartened. It builds a sturdy foundation of inner strength that enhances both your personal and professional life, enabling you to navigate the world with confidence. Cultivating independence also involves developing emotional self-sufficiency, which means learning to manage and regulate your emotions without relying on others to make you feel better or solve your emotional issues. Emotional independence is a critical component of healthy relationships, as it prevents you from placing the burden of your happiness on someone else. Instead, you learn to take responsibility for your emotions and work through them constructively, whether through self-reflection, mindfulness, or talking to a trusted friend without expecting them to fix the issue. By becoming emotionally self-sufficient, you're better able to enter relationships from a place of wholeness, where you can offer support without becoming overly dependent on the other person for emotional stability. Self-worth and independence also involve setting personal boundaries. Boundaries protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being, allowing you to prioritize your needs and respect yourself. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, you're more likely to set and uphold boundaries that reflect your values and protect your peace of mind. For example, if you value your personal time for relaxation, Setting boundaries around work or social commitments ensures that you're honoring your needs without feeling guilty. By setting boundaries, you communicate your self-respect to others and teach them to respect your space and limits as well. Developing a growth mindset is another vital aspect of cultivating self-worth and independence. A growth mindset is the belief that you can improve, learn, and adapt rather than being defined by fixed traits or past experiences. With a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities for growth and view setbacks as temporary obstacles that offer valuable lessons. This perspective empowers you to approach life with confidence, knowing that you are capable of change and improvement. When you embrace a growth mindset, your self-worth becomes more robust because you no longer fear failure or criticism. Instead, you see them as part of the journey, knowing that your worth isn't diminished by setbacks or mistakes. Taking responsibility for your happiness is another step toward independence and self-worth. Many people unknowingly rely on external factors, whether it's a relationship, a job, or material possessions to make them feel happy. However, true contentment comes from within and is a result of living in alignment with your values, pursuing meaningful goals, and practicing gratitude. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop expecting others to fulfill you or make you feel complete. Instead, you take proactive steps to create a life that brings you joy, making your happiness more sustainable and resilient in the face of life's ups and downs. Practicing self-compassion is also crucial in this journey. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you're facing challenges or setbacks. When you're compassionate with yourself, you avoid harsh self-criticism and instead offer yourself encouragement and patience. This kindness strengthens your self-worth by reminding you that you are worthy of love and respect, regardless of external circumstances. Self-compassion fosters a positive self-image and helps you build emotional resilience, making it easier to maintain a sense of worth and independence even during difficult times. Finally, cultivating self-worth and independence enables you to engage in relationships from a place of confidence rather than need. When you are content within yourself, you don't enter relationships out of a desire to be completed or saved. Instead, you can appreciate relationships for the joy, support, and companionship they bring, without compromising your identity or values. Independence in relationships creates a healthier, more balanced dynamic where both partners respect each other's autonomy and individuality. This type of relationship is based on mutual growth, where each person can thrive independently and together, enhancing the quality of the connection. In essence, cultivating self-worth and independence is about embracing the knowledge that you are complete and capable on your own. It allows you to approach life from a place of strength, where you can pursue your goals and build relationships without sacrificing your sense of self. As you continue to build self-worth and independence, you'll find that life becomes more fulfilling, meaningful, and authentic. The journey may not always be easy, but the rewards are profound: a life where you're empowered, resilient, and genuinely happy from within.